don't know if it's the coffee or if it's, it's all of it.
All in.
I'm all in.
Holy Spirit took over the first video.
Hey!
But we're back here with Shay Arthur for number 2. Arthur. And so check that out. It'll be linked below. Really good video talking about direction, getting before the Lord in one simple step. Find out what that step is. Go back and check it out. But so now, as you saw in the title, this is our new series called Encounters
Come on.
in the Glory.
Oh, man.
Now, thankfully, it's not too often that, because it's not like we've interacted that much,
right?
But I feel like every interaction we've had, just about, bar none, has been in the glory.
Easily.
I mean,
I would say easily 3/4 of all of our encounters have been in the glory.
Whether it's School of Revivalists, it was LaSalle.
Oh, man. That was a wild time.
Haven House Worship Nights. Yeah, it's just from glory to glory to glory.
Literally.
Find friendships where every time you see that person, you're going from glory to glory to glory.
That's what I love about you and your wife, though, is truly it doesn't even matter if it's an event. It can be just a coffee time and y'all just carry it. It's just, and I think you draw it out of people, Well,
I was going to say the same thing about
okay.
Because one of my favorite revivalists is Evan Roberts, and his friends described him as a particle of radium whose fire in their midst was consuming.
Shoot.
What does that mean in modern language? Just like when this guy walks in the room, he sets everything on fire. And before he got here today, I was like, I wonder, is that Shay? No. I would know if Shay walked in.
Yeah.
I was thinking that. Because you carry confidence, you carry peace. A lot of people who carry confidence don't carry peace.
Yeah, thank you.
Carry confidence, peace, and I know that within a couple of minutes of interacting with you, we'll be interacting with him.
That's probably one of the highest compliments I think I've ever been given.
Wow. So thank you. So Encounters in the Glory, like I said, we've had some together. I know you have some of your own. What's one that kind of just sticks out to you?
Oh man, I was sitting here. I didn't know this topic was coming, or I probably would have thought more into it. The first one that came to my mind was I was actually living in Dallas. I went to Christ for the Nations Bible School, and honestly, I grew up in Charismania, but I can't really recall all of these hardcore encounters that I had. I do recall some, but I had graduated. I was living in alumni housing, not knowing what the junk I was going to do with my life, knowing all of it here and praying that it was just seeping down. I need this to get down into the heart. And I remember, I had some options of things, people asking me to do this, do that. Possibilities of this, possibilities of that. And I remember just hearing God say, Shay, just worship me. And I was like, that doesn't seem very productive, God. And I remember sitting on my couch, and I don't know, and it's very rare that I don't even know why I'm sharing this one, but I guess maybe because it's rare and maybe one person out there has something like this and they're just I don't know what to do with that. Because I still don't know what to do with it. But and it wasn't even I'm not this amazing worship leader per se, but I just began to worship him in this room. And it was honestly, Dave, he walked in. And we say that very cliche, his presence came in. It's another way of saying it. No, I literally fell to the ground and I was so petrified to open my eyes. That's the only way I can describe it. I was scared. Literally, that if I opened my eyes and I saw what was in this room, and it wasn't a darkness feeling. It was there's so much light in here that if I look, it's literally going to burn me. That's what it felt like. And I remember just talking God, it was I was talking to, it was as if Jesus honestly walked in my room. And I know that sounds nuts, but not nuts at the same time. Because I've had encounters, but that still remains one of the most mind-blowing. It literally superseded any intellect that I had for him at that point. I had no grid. I knew your presence comes in, it shifts the room. But I literally thought in that moment, if I look in that corner over there, if I physically open up my eyes to look over there, he's going to have to kill me. Because I'm it's his presence is literally just going to be take me to heaven now. And you know, like somebody would say, okay, so what was that unto? The only thing I remember hearing God say was, Shay, forever, from this moment on, you just know that you have the backing of heaven. And I was like, it was a heavy moment, but I think there's still moments in life. I mean, that's over a decade ago, easy. And there's still moments in my mid-30s that I'm like, I have the backing of heaven.
Yeah.
Has that happened to me ever since? Nope, not like that. Not where I'm literally scared to open my eyes.
You know, I just got finished with my new book, Mystify. It's got some crazy encounters in it. And I just happened to include a story that was really similar to that.
Oh, wow.
And here's the interesting thing. It's not my own. When I was in Bible school, my two roommates were sitting across from each other, kind of like us, but like two couches facing. They were ending a 5-day fast. And my one friend was trying to fix his alarm clock. It just wouldn't turn on. He had it taken apart and everything. Almost half jokingly, but completely serious at the same time, my other friend walked over and goes, "Fire!" And the clock comes on perfectly. I think it even came on to the right time or something crazy. And so they sat back down, and all of a sudden, they noticed a dramatic increase in God's presence. Mm-hmm. And so this is almost 20 years ago, but the time between now and then, me hearing it from them so many times, it was almost like an invitation into the experience.
Right.
And I actually got to experience it from a different angle and dimension that they experienced it. I put myself in their shoes in the story, and I put myself in the shoes of the one who was about to walk into the room as well. But the thing about encounters is that they're not stuck in the moment in time you experienced it. Mm-hmm. They came from eternity. I can have an encounter. Mm-hmm. The encounter hit me here on my timeline. Well, if I go back and revisit it here on my timeline, I can see more because I have the history that's resting on. If I go back here and revisit it, go back here and revisit it.
Yep.
You know, like if you went back into that room, can you look around again? Can you see? And the thing that was interesting about their experience is they didn't see Jesus walk in the front door with their eyeballs. They were seeing almost like Neo in the Matrix.
Yep.
They were seeing in a different dimension. He walks between them. As he walks between them, they shake so violently. Right. And then he walks past them to the kitchen. It's a shotgun-style house, so he walks back through, around, and goes through the different bedrooms. And they're like, Jesus is here. Like, yeah, I know. What do we do?
Right.
Like, what's Jesus doing?
Right.
I don't know what he's doing. And so he walks back around, stands in between them, and doesn't move. And so finally, like, they're on these couches, and they're, like, sinking back into the couches, shaking in the glory. And so finally, my one friend goes, Jesus, we can't take this. Like, we physically can't take this.
Like, you literally feel like there's something physical that's limiting you from experiencing more, which sounds so, I don't know, almost like a dichotomy.
It's almost like
your physical body can only handle so much.
It can only handle so much till you're at the brink of, like, I literally can't take one more step. But having reached that means next time you can actually go a couple steps further.
Well, it's like muscle building. I'm like, okay. Because, like, there's been encounters since then that I know, I like, there's something in me that's like, if, like, that's happened there, like, it's changed the dynamic of other encounters.
It's like physical training.
Yeah.
And, you know, totally. For years, my friend was like, you know, ask Jesus to leave, and I'll never do it again. But being able to remain in the encounter for as long as he did, I haven't talked to him in depth about his encounter since, but I guarantee you they'll match up. And this friend's he's seen the power of God move all over the earth. So it's been an amazing story. It also reminds me of the story of Smith Wigglesworth. When they were praying in a room, and all the other ministers had to leave when Smith started praying because they couldn't handle the glory that showed up when Smith prayed. But Smith went through his own process before that to be able to stand there. You know, Bob Jones used to say, you got to be able to hold your liquor.
Right.
You know? But it's neat how encounters can make us ready for more encounters. And it's not like the Lord's doing some kind of weird thing.
No.
But, you know, I mean, take Moses. Moses talked with the Lord face to face, but when it came to showing him his glory, he had to hide that he could see the backside of the glory. Now, whether that was history, eon past, or whatever that looked like, but he was leading Moses into more of himself.
So wild. And
I'm interviewing you, but you inspired me. One more little thing that makes me think of is the road to Emmaus. You know, the disciples on the road to Emmaus, Jesus walks up. Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? They didn't recognize him. It's like, oh well, Jesus, you know, he's really powerful, and you know, he was in disguise.
Right.
They would know him. Mm-hmm. The thing is that at that point, those two disciples only knew an earthly Jesus who had given his life. They were yet to meet the resurrected
glorious,
Jesus.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, resurrected Jesus shows up beside them, and they're like, oh,
ding!
Keep talking to us, please. Tell us, you know. Mm-hmm. And so they had to be upgraded to see Jesus in this new form. And so, but that took it's like you just casually talk about Jesus.
I know, like...
It's almost like the road to Emmaus. He shows up. He's like, hey, what are you guys talking about?
He's like, hey, yeah, totally.
And it's like, we knew this much, but please, Jesus, tell us more.
Yeah.
And that's why it says wherever two or three are gathered. You see that road to Emmaus kind of repeated everywhere. Because everywhere Kingdom Family is and people talk about him, it creates an opportunity for the earth to be filled with his glory. So don't bypass those moments. Like, you know, Shay, like when you feel something, lean into the Spirit, you know. Society trains you that that's probably some kind of negative force or something like this or bad. It could be, but that's also why you need Jesus.
Right.
But lean into the unknown. You'll see parts of Jesus you've never seen before.
Yeah. It is, I mean, still to this day. And I think something for me, it's like, because to me, that could be like, wow, that was like this grand encounter, right? Like the encounter of all encounters. But honestly, like, I mean, I've had amazing ones since that are completely different, but that have equally wrecked me, you know? And I think it's like that, don't judge an encounter from your last encounter, right?
Yeah.
Like in the moment, this is how he wants to show up, you know? And I think it is. I mean, like there were so many moments where resurrected Jesus told the disciples, meet me here, meet me there. And every time it was a different reason. And I think it's the same thing. Like he meets us in different seasons, in different ways. But equally, they always transform you somehow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Encounters in the glory. You know, some of the things we've talked about so far have been like seeing stuff with our eyes, but which is amazing. I want to see more. I want to see Jesus. I want to see heavenly gates. I want to see things I haven't seen before. There's also like, that's just one sense. If we can train our other senses to pick up and perceive what's happening, we'll actually experience more than just trying to look through here, or just trying to hear, or just trying to get an encounter out of the Word. You know, allow every sense that He's given us in the natural to enhance your spiritual senses to encounter His glory. How can people keep track with you, all that kind of stuff?
Oh man, I tend to be kind of like Where's Waldo, so good luck. No, I'm just kidding. Instagram, Shay Arthur, and then just Shayin is my YouTube channel, podcast. It's also an Instagram that you can connect with me through. That's probably the easiest way.
All right, and I'll link to your YouTube channel below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to both of our channels.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be on her channel next.
We're swapping.
So let's see what happens. There you go. See you guys.